Yes.
Awesome. Great. Thank you guys for joining. I know it's the middle of the week. We were expecting people not to join on time, but yeah, a lot of people are here already. So we'll respect your time and start quickly. So these sessions, we do different concepts. Last time we're aiming to build 3 tools, but Replit was having a bad hair day and it was completely slow. So we were able to do only 2 tools in 70 minutes. But yeah, I think in the scope of exploring more tools, we came across Lovable, the very popular one. They hit 100 million ARR, I think the fastest startup ever to hit that milestone. So I think it's worth exploring them. So yeah, I think what we'll do is we build one product today, but we'll build it simultaneously, right? One I'll build on Replit, Mihir will build on Lovable. This is what we'll cover. We'll do a quick intro about me and Mihir and even a quicker overview of what Vibecoding and what type of dev tools are out there, right? Then before we start building, we'll do a very short poll, right? We'll give you one activity to do, not mandatory. If you do it, it will benefit you in the long term. But yeah, I highly recommend you do it. Majority of the session will be on the product building, right? We will build. I can guarantee you one thing: things will break, right? We've tried perfecting the prompts as much as possible. Still, these tools always break. There's something that will go wrong. So it will be a real, real kind of presentation of what happens when you start building, even after spending 4 or 5 months building on these tools, right? We'll end with an analysis from our side, what we have learned in the process of building on these 2 tools, right? What are the pros and cons? Then we'll have a final vote and decide which tool is the best one, right? And then we'll talk about upcoming workshops that we have to offer. Cool. I'll start with a quick intro, then I'll hand it over to Mihir. I have a growth consulting firm called Curo Revelio. We work with early stage startups on their growth journey. So we do growth strategy and digital marketing execution. I've been doing this for almost 5 years now. Before that, I worked in the growth and marketing division of Urban Company, Oyo and Kartheko. A lot of ISB folks over here. So I did ISB class of 17, did my engineering from NSIT Delhi. And yeah, on the side, I'm like going crazy over multiple tools, which hopefully in the few coming months, we'll cover all of them. Over to you, Mir.
Hey, thanks. Thank you so much, guys, for joining in. I'm Heath Sose. I've worked almost exclusively in startups post my MBA. Again, I'm Adil's batchmate from class of 17 at ISB. So since then, working in startups, I had my own startup in the pet space, 21 to 23. And over the last 1.5 years, I've been consulting early stage startups, which has sort of segued into me building a community for early stage startups. And this is a growth focused community. So you can think of it like BNI for 0 to 1 startup founders, right? And that's what I'm doing right now. And Adil also is part of the community. So that's how we sort of often brainstorm with each other. We are like the non-official co-founders for each other. And we sort of organically collaborated on these sessions and workshops because we ourselves were solving the same problem at the same time using the same tools, right? So yeah, that's what that's about me and Adil.
Awesome. So there's not a lot of theory. This slide is the only theory in this whole session, right? A lot of people might not know is Vibecoding is just basically using AI tools to turn your thoughts and ideas into a working software, right? The best part is you don't need to know how to code, right? Some popular tools that many of you might have heard of. Lovable, Replit. These 2 we'll cover today. Bolt is another one, very close to Lovable, right? Cursor and Claude are more closer to actual coding tools, CLIs, that what coders call it, right? Data Button is very close to Replit, right? V0 stands a bit separate because it's primarily used for the front end, right? So a lot of integrations are required if you want to build a full legit app with backend and front end on V0. We'll talk more about each of these and compare them in the end of the session, right? So if you want to understand, okay, which one to use for your specific use case, stick around for the last slide. Right now, before we start, okay, so what are we building today? So based on the ideas we got, majority were fitting the marketplace model, right? So this is what we're going to build. We're building a used goods marketplace today. And what all we'll cover within that, we will cover user journeys, different pages, data tables, features, product categories, payment flow, prompts, how are you building for each of these things. I think most of the time and most important part for everyone would be the debugging with AI, right? Since I'm assuming like us, a lot of people here are non-tech, right? So we can't actually get into the code and start improving it, right? So we have to rely on using the AI to solve these things.
So one more thing, the reason we've also selected the marketplace is because it stands or represents any two-party digital platform, right? So while you might have an idea that is separate from a marketplace, but even if it's a one-party, one person selling to another person, or two-party marketplace or a platform, this will stand as an example for all of that. So whatever we're building here today will be applicable to any two-party digital place that you're used to selling. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
Awesome. So Mihir, you want to take up the poll?
Yes. So I've launched the poll. If you go to the bottom right corner of your screen, we're going to take some early bets. Okay, based on whatever you guys have heard, seen, read. Which tool do you think is better? We'll take a quick prediction from everyone. Do you think Replit is better or Lovable? And then we'll take another poll at the end to see what the difference was. Okay, so 21 votes in so far. Lovable is winning by a margin of 14-9. Very nice. So I'm already leading up. Yeah, I know. We're keeping it to you to decide how how do you want to define better? Whatever you decide, whatever your parameters are, you don't even have to explain it. So there's no exam at the end of it.
And no judgment, guys. No judgment.
Yeah, anonymous anyways.
Yeah, Pawan, I think you're right. Replit has been in the news for the wrong reasons so far. But yeah, they were very quick to solve that. I'll maybe cover it in the end, what they did. Let's start, Mir.
Yes, so Lovable has won, by the way, 20-11.
We'll see. We'll see. By the end, we'll see.
Maybe next time we can start taking bets on this.
Yeah, side business one.
Awesome. Cool. Okay. Ending the poll now. Yeah, go ahead.
No,
okay, so now this was the problem statement, right? A marketplace to buy and sell used books, furniture, and appliances. Okay, so this is what we narrowed it down to as the problem statement or the idea that we want to build a website for. Right, so very specific, no, not very, but like fairly specific in terms of categories, only 3: books, furniture, and appliances, right? Marketplace, which will allow people to buy and sell, right? Now, what we did was, before we actually start building on any of these tools, the first step is to clarify the problem and the target user, right? So we sort of detail this out a little bit to say that, okay, this is our segment, right? So assume this to be a persona, or if I look at it from my perspective, or if each of you look at it from your perspective, the person or the persona over here is, I have accumulated furniture, books, and appliances over the past few years of living independently, and I need to clear the old ones to make space for the new and exciting ones, right? This is the person. Imagine this person in your head. The problem that this person is having, even though I'm moving them out of my home, these books, furniture, and appliances hold a place in my memory and meaning in my life. Okay, I've survived hardships with my coffee machine. I've gone on some of the most memorable treks with my backpack. So I don't want to just give them away. I want to see them being valued, to see them, rehomed in some sense. Okay, so this is the problem statement I have. And my promise or my value proposition will be that I will feel happy. I, as a user, will feel happy about selling my furniture, books, and appliances. Okay, so this problem statement we converted to a more detailed idea. Right? Once you're at this stage, or once we are at this stage, now we're ready to build because we have a better idea, or we have a clarity of what we want to build using these tools in the first place. Right? So each of these tools, whether it's Replit, Lovable, or any of the others that others spoke about, are only tools. They will help you put or create a website based on what you have in your mind. Right? So the more clear in terms of what you want to build, the better the output is for you. right? So this is step one that we had to do. And this is something that we did on our own separate. Now, after that, we've listed, so we've both gone about it our own separate ways, right? So this was our primary problem statement. And before I actually go about building the website, these are the steps that I did. So I listed the core use case, which is very basic MVP level, buy and sell, right? Then I started scoping out the pages, functionalities, and user journeys. So the pages that I came up with were landing page, category page, and the product page within each category, a basic login sign up page, and a logged in user dashboard, and maybe one add or view item to sell page, right? So this is what we're going to build as an MVP. And now, because we have a time limit, so we are going to time ourselves for 30 minutes. How much ever we can build, we will build within those 30 minutes, right? And you will sort of rate the tool also on that parameter at the end of it. Right now, the functionalities that I want, I'm going to build are make a purchase, add a listing, and confirm a bid. Right, and then I've also chalked out user journeys of each. So, what will the user journey look like for a buy use case, for a sell use case, and for a confirm sale use case? Right. So we spent about a day thinking about this, and now we're actually ready to start building something on one of these tools. Yeah. So before we start, Adil will also walk you through what his thought process and logic was, so that you'll also see how close we were to what we were envisioning, how close the output was to what we wanted. Yeah.
Yeah. So Mihir has given it a lot of thought. He's built it from his heart about solving a problem. I was more, I would say, analytical, right? What to build straight away. I just dived into it, and like feel free to use any tool, right? I use ChatGPT a lot. Just give it a voice note of what I'm imagining, and just ask it to build it into a structure, into pages, into different things, right? And then I edit manually, right? So I'm an Excel sheet person, right? So please don't mind the different colors and everything. Um, so from the description, this is what I got, and I kind of structured and added more things to it, right? So I started with building, okay, what kind of pages will I need, right? So I'll need a home page, I'll need to browse listings, right? I have to see the listing detail, right? So listing here would mean the product page, right? I would want to add a new item for sale, right? I would want to see my listings that I listed for selling to someone, right? Sign up login is very basic. I would want to have a user profile, right? Basic about pages. And yeah, I would want to see the payment flow also to be done, right? Uh, these are basically derived from the features, right? What features do I want to see? So I want to see login, browsing, search, filtering, right? Listing details, posting a new listing. So all those features led to these pages, right? The next step I did was, okay, now all these pages need some information, right? Where will that information be stored, right? So that will have to be stored in a database in certain tables, right? Now, if you're not a product manager, have not worked on data a lot, right? This might be very new to you, but it's a very basic thing that you have to do in any product that you do. You have to build a database where information can be extracted from and added to, right? So very basic users table I defined, okay, what I need, ID, name, email, location, and a basic timestamp, right? This is the primary table, right? When I'm building a new listing, okay, how do I track that listing? I would need a unique ID for it, right? Similarly, title, description, category, price. So ChatGPT didn't give me this, right? I added this condition. So I want to know what is the condition of my product that I'm selling or buying, right? Um, so Avita, I think question, details Excel generated by ChatGPT? No, so ChatGPT gave me separate tables, right? It's not a one prompt thing. I gave it the whole information, asked it to summarize, then asked it to create separate tables while focusing on certain things, right? So I think, yeah, I have a bunch of fields in the product listing table, right? And this is the main detailed part that I did, right? What are the user journeys, right? What does it look like? So the user login would be they land on the home page or click on post a listing. They're prompted to enter a name, email, session is created and redirected to home page and greeted by name, right? Similarly, for each step, I went into imagining what each step would look like, right? So for posting, right, you click on post a listing, right? And again, look at the bracket, login if needed. right? Then the form should include a title, description, image, and more details, right? And submit, listing goes live. So simple 3-step journey for this feature that we had, right? So this is how I prepared it, right? Everyone will have a different style, right? Product managers in the call are very used to building PRDs. Their PRDs will be like 10-page documents, right? Which is also a great way to do it. But now, how do you convert this into a prompt, right? So before Mehir shows his prompt, I'll just tell you how I built it out. Because I've been building in Replit for a lot of months, I now realize that Replit is not good at doing one shot prompting, right? What does that mean? That you give everything to it in one dump and it will figure out what to do, right? We've tested it multiple times in multiple workshops, live and ourselves as well. It breaks, right? So the best way to work in Replit is to break it down into smaller parts of it, right? Or give it very high level prompt that build ABCD and then go into the details afterwards, right? So I'll just show you the prompt that I am using. Sorry, I have to reshare. Okay. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. So basically, I'm telling Replit that, hey, I'm building a simple community-driven marketplace where people can sell and buy. And yeah, I picked on 3 categories: used books, furniture, appliances in the local area, right? I want to build a simple, you can ignore this part, right? Again, ChatGPT picked up a few things which it makes sense to it. I can completely remove it also. Replit does this for us, right? So I want a login page. I want a login sign up page. I've kept the login through phone number and OTP. And I've told it, keep the OTP 1234 for all users for now, right? Because we're testing it out. Then I defined what the homepage should have, right? Listing page should have. I gave it a sentence on what the design should look like, right? So use a clean photo first layout of soft colors and large readable text to keep the experience warm and welcoming. Prioritize familiar navigation and friendly microcopy to create trust while making it effortless. Now again, I didn't write this, right? I gave it to ChatGPT and Claude both, right? The keyword that I gave it was that it should focus on the photos of the products, right? The experience should be warm and welcoming, right? Don't use any fancy navigation, right? So that converted into prioritize familiar navigation and focus on building trust during the whole journey, right? So from that, ChatGPT gave this, right? Claude's prompt was much longer, right? So I focused on the smaller one. The last part, I think, is something which, if you start building, you'll understand with experience, right? So logged in state via local storage is basically, it will maintain that session while we navigate the whole app, right?
Adil, just one quick point. Because there are 2 screens, I mean, the visibility is very limited for the first one. So because nothing is happening on the second one, can we just hide the second one?
Sure, sure. I'll just unpin it.
Yeah.
Is it better now?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you. Got it. And the last one, store listings and data temporarily in memory, right? Again, with experience, we'll learn this. In the first prompt, Replit is not very good at creating the database while creating everything else, right? So I've kept it as a secondary step when I go deeper into it, right? So I'll just start here.
Wait, wait,
And
I'll just quickly, so I also want to quickly start, okay? I'll pin my screen and what we'll do is we'll start a timer for 30 minutes on our own watches, or phone, sorry. And we'll both press start at the same time, okay? My prompt, I will paste the prompt. It's going in bits and pieces in the chat window, but mine is, you'll see how it comes, right? We'll quickly start. I'm only getting a little antsy. Shall we?
Okay, sure.
Hold on 1 second. Okay, start. Let's go. And please feel free to drop your questions in the chat window. We'll keep going back to the chat window while both those AIs are working. I can see a blank screen, so it's still thinking. Oh, yours already started, huh?
So slow, Mihir, yaar. Okay, any questions till now, or should I start explaining?
The prompt that you shared on the chat earlier, what is that for?
Sorry, the one that I shared?
Yeah, you open up Replit or Lovable, whichever you voted for, on your own laptop, and you paste that prompt over there.
Okay.
And you press send. So you build something in your laptop, on your laptop as well, and we'll do a quick comparison at the end.
Got it. Thanks.
Sayed, the Excel that you created, you haven't uploaded that on either of the prompts right now, right?
Sorry.
The Excel that you created, you haven't uploaded that.
I've not uploaded that.
either of the
Nothing. So I'll tell you basically from my experience, having that ready beforehand basically helps you understand what all features do you really need, right? The first time I built, and now it's a working app, right? The first time I built it, there were so many random features that I just put in, and the AI put in also, right? I never knew that this will be useful or not later on, right? So after like kind of revisiting, talking to a lot of product people, they're like, first prioritize what you actually need, right? That will help you remove any bloated software, bloated code, right?
Supabase is for backend, what?
Yes, so it's automatically prompting me to create connect a project on Supabase. It has its integrations pre-existing. It's on the top right corner. I've just moved to a different window.
So we should also do that on our side, right?
Yes. If it prompts you. So right now it's saying on the Lovable, this thing, it's showing me that you need to create a Supabase data. You need to link a project in Supabase to proceed.
Yeah.
Okay. What was the...
Awesome. Sarwan's question is, I'm curious to know, after it builds part, how do I deploy, list, host it? Correct. Any experience building working app that I see on Android store. So Sarwan, the problem is right now all these tools are optimized for building web apps, right? There are tools like I think Woz is coming up, which builds apps. I'm not sure if it builds iOS apps, definitely Android, but we haven't tried it yet, so can't comment on it. It's a YC startup, so hopefully it works. But all Lovable, Replit, Bolt, everything is for web apps for now. We can download all codes as zip files, Lovable as Replit. Yes, you can download the code. You can upload, sync to GitHub, make a new repo, transfer it anywhere. So just to give you a snippet, what I do is I build the first version on Replit and then transfer the code to Cursor and improve it there.
Got it. Makes sense. Like I was curious if there is because again, then it requires some sort of computer science knowledge. No, if I'm using GitHub or Cursor or then deploying it, I was just thinking if there is a solution to it as well.
Yeah. So see, it's complete. I would say it's easy to learn, right?
Okay.
It's basically a 30-minute YouTube video, right? That you need, and Replit will show that. We'll integrate with GitHub also, so you'll get an idea of how easy it is. Only step would be that you should already have an account, which is simply a login. Right? After that, everything happens on its own.
Got it. Thank you.
Mihir has jumped ahead.
No, it's already started giving me errors.
Okay, I have to approve the plan, so let me talk about that first. Sure.
Go for it.
Awesome.
I will continue to build it then and win.
Okay, cool. So here is what Replit does, and I think Lovable also has this. It shows you what's going to build before it builds it out, right? So it has given me the feature that is going to build: landing page, phone-based login OTP, user session management via local storage. This I specified for it to build. Home page with category navigation, listing page with dummy data. So I didn't tell it to put dummy data anywhere, right? So it already picked it up and said that I will put dummy data, right? Category filtering, I mentioned this. User state, yes. Basic routing between pages, right? So now if you think that you don't want certain parts in the initial version, you can remove it, right? And it also has a list of things that you can build later on, right? So OTP integration with real SMS service, profile management, list creation management, image upload functionality, location-based filtering and search, and messaging system, right? These are all a bit advanced, right? A lot of integration, API integration might also be needed for a few things. So I'm just going to focus on these part right now and approve the plan. So it kind of builds the front end first, just to give you an idea of what it will look like. But yeah, talking about that, you can't change it before building the plan, right? You can change the UI after building the plan. So that's one limitation.
Adil, can you also put your prompt in the chat for the Replit prompt?
Sure.
So the earlier one, I'm assuming, was like generic. It was not what
Yes.
you're using right now.
Correct. We kept it generic just to show you what does a generic prompt create and what does a specified prompt create, right?
Sure.
So now if you had used that prompt, look at the output you got and look at the output that we are getting,
right?
And you can get an idea of, okay, why are we talking about specific things, right?
Sure. If you can put it here in the chat, I think we can see it.
I'll do that.
Adil, did ChatGPT give you the prompt after you say inputted the Excel sheet into the GPT?
No.
Or you created the prompt?
I created the prompt. So the Excel sheet, the tables. So basically what my workflow has been, I use ChatGPT a lot as a voice note-taking app, right? So I gave it around 5-10 minute long a text note, voice note, sorry, and kind of structured that first into different sections. Then I asked it to make tables for each of those sections, like pages, user journeys, and everything. Copied it into Excel sheet, improved it, added things, removed unnecessary things. So that was from my understanding. Okay, this is what I need to create, right?
Okay.
Now from that, the first prompt has to be very basic, right? You can cover a few things, but you can't go deep into it, right? So you can have breadth, you can't have depth. Right?
Mm-hmm.
This is very specific for Replit. So I think other tools might have a different way of handling things.
Got it. All right, thank you.
So I missed a few questions. I'll just quickly take it while Mihir gets ready.
No, I'm waiting for my thing to work now. It's thinking and deploying working.
Okay.
So that.
Okay.
And Adil, you didn't paste your entire prompt, right?
I didn't.
I think there's some word limit probably.
Oh, it's a word limit. We'll send it later on in the email. We'll send it later on with the feedback email, so you can access it. Got it. Let's quickly answer a few questions. Apps created from these tools ready for production, assuming 50,000 daily active users. In terms of deployment upgrades, this is what we build as iterate cybersecurity scaling visibility robustness. Can we take that? Cut is so. Akshif, short answer is no. Right. 50,000 daily active users. Like we don't have any app with that much traffic as of now. But yes, 100, 200, 500, it can easily manage. Security is a big question. We have no answer to it right now. Lovable has been hacked, right? Replit, I'm not sure how many of you know. The AI agent deleted someone's database completely, right? Production database, which was real live for someone. So these things are happening. So it's not 100% secure. But yes, it is still, because you can extract the code and start working anywhere else. You can deploy anywhere else, right? It's completely up to you. So that's why it's very good for building, right? The first version.
The MVP.
Yeah. Production stage, not there yet.
So at production, we mean scale, right? Scaled up. You can still use this with, let's say, first 10, 15, 20, 100, 200, 500 users. Right? It's beyond that when you need to integrate things, when managing things manually becomes a pain. That's when you need to, let's say, have a proper technically built product and production version. But for your first 100 customers, you can very easily use this.
Correct. Ashish's question is on
Folks,
game
would
development.
you also be talking about how to bring that to production for the first 100, 200, whatever number of users?
Yeah, we will deploy it, right? We'll deploy it in the session only. But yes, improving it product and all that, that's just later stage, right? How do you make sure that's not breaking, right? All those things, that comes later.
Cool. Sounds good.
Yes,
Thanks.
and we will deploy this both our websites. We'll share the link with you so you can access it from your laptop, phone, wherever. Fully deployed on the internet.
Awesome. Ashish, I'll quickly answer the question. Yes, it is can be used for game development, but again, like I mentioned, mobile apps, Replit, Lovable are not for that. There's one tool called Was, but yes, I have not used that yet, so not sure how good they are on building a proper app. Awesome. So before I move ahead, I'll just quickly talk about what Replit shows, right? The first prompt took 10 minutes, right? It wrote around 2000 lines of code, right? And it cost me 67 cents, right? So this is the good thing I like about Replit, especially the agent. It charges you per effort, right? People still criticize it as perceived effort, but still it charges you per effort that goes into building the code, right? And it gives me a summary of what it did, right? It created data models for listing and with phone authentication, in-memory storage for sample listings, API endpoints for authentication and listings, landing page, OTP login system, right? And it's asking us to test it out and show what is happening. Meera, is your first version ready?
No, it's been throwing error after error. I'm thinking of starting up. Oh, okay, it's showing me something now.
Got it. In the meantime, on Replit, you can also see step by step what files are being created. If you love to understand code also, if you have some understanding, each page you can review while it's being written down, right? So how I learned, not coding, but yeah, per se, data structure and everything is by copy pasting these names into ChatGPT and asking what does it just do, right? So understanding why is a roots.ts required, right? Why is a schema.ts required, right? What does TS mean, right? Simple things like a non-tech person would never understand, right? So again, I would highly recommend you also do that. Okay, now let's test it, right? Saying buy sell locally, safely and easily. Discover amazing deals on books, furnitures, appliances. So it picked the categories exactly that I mentioned, right? Because I said local area, it has focused on neighbors in your community, right? And again, trust and safety guaranteed. It has highlighted mid 3 sections by 100% safe, hyper local, community first, popular categories, which I mentioned, right? It has added reviews on its own, right?
I published my website too. What are you doing? No, not done, but I published it.
How did you publish it without being done?
I can keep updating it.
Yeah, you can keep updating it. Awesome. So now I'll just test if it's working or not, right? Looks good. Okay. So get started got me to the phone number login page. The brand logo is taking me back to the home page. Browse item is taking me to the listing page, right? Now this is an error, right? If you recognize, I want this page to come after login, right? But it's still showing it before login, right? So we identified one flow error, right? Not a technical error per se. Now I'm trying to click on each product, but it's not opening, right? That means the product page is still missing, the listing page. But it has picked up different things, picked up random images. Somehow this guy is a textbook. I don't know why. But yeah. It has put up the categories. The filters are also working. Okay. Furniture is also working. Appliances is also working. Okay. Let's do Price low to high, not working. Okay, price filter is not working. High to low, not working. US first, not working. So another bug, right? So these are things basically we have to kind of keep taking a note of, okay, what's working, what's not working, what I need to fix, right? And then we can start focusing on these things. Got it. Let's try to log in. I'll just put some random numbers. Okay, it took even an alphabet, right? So another error we found that is taking alphabets also in the phone number. So we need to put in some validation. Okay. User not found, please provide your name. Interesting. But there is no name field. Got it. So let's solve this first, right? Okay, so now I'll introduce a new feature, something called, again, tech folks might know this, which is basically your logs, right? So this console basically gives you an idea of exactly what error is happening, right? And also tracks what actions are being taken on your app, right? So it's giving me a user not found error, right? So now I'll ask the agent itself to help me resolve this without me actually going into the code or doing this, right? While logging in, I'm getting a user not found error. Kindly help evaluate the reason and suggest fixes. Let's see what it does.
Adil, did you deploy your site or what?
No. I'm trying to fix the bugs first, and then I'll deploy.
I deployed mine. I've sent the link in the chat of this Gmeet call.
Okay.
Okay,
You're
so
gonna,
Yeah, sorry.
you're gonna tell us how you did the deployment, right?
Yes.
yeah, Mir, if you want to go ahead, you can share.
Yeah. You need to speed up that. I think only 12 minutes left.
In that the lovable prompt that I tried, it's giving me error for each click.
Okay.
Sorry,
Oh.
Replit.
Oh, Replit is it? You should have chosen Lovable.
Okay, so my error is fixed now. I'll give it my name, complete setup. Great. So now this is
So
the actual homepage that I got. Yeah, go ahead.
I'll just show you how I deployed while this is fixing some issue. So I don't know if you guys can have seen the website that I built. And now on my screen, this is my chat window. On the top right corner, you have Supabase and you have GitHub shortcuts only available here, right? So it's a one-click sync to both. I just clicked on publish and it published it in 2 minutes. That's it.
Sorry, can you repeat?
Yeah, so on the top right corner of my Lovable window, there is a publish button.
Yes.
Right. So if I click on it, right now it's update because I made some changes and I need to update it. But earlier the button here was publish. I just clicked on it and it took 2 minutes to deploy. That's it.
That is after linking Supabase and GitHub, right?
Yes, that is after linking Supabase and GitHub. But you can do it before also. Let's say you have only a landing page. There is no backend to your website, right? You're just collecting forms or you're linking to a Google form at the end of it to collect leads. You don't need a backend technically. So you can publish it even without it. And the domain is lovable.app, but you can add custom domains over here. Right. So if you have a domain that you've already bought, I think Lovable now has the option to buy from within Lovable also, if I remember correctly. But in any case, if you have domains, you can connect it here. And publishing the site is available on the free tier. Connecting your custom domain requires the paid tier.
So Mihir, they were like errors you're talking about. So all the errors that these tools give, so it's just like only in natural language, you like tell them that, hey, I'm getting this error, you solve it, or you need to know anything technical?
So honestly, I didn't even need to do that. So there's one error that came up. right? You see
Yeah.
this one?
Yeah.
It has a button over here, try to fix. So I didn't even have to type anything. I just click this button and automatically went and gave this prompt by itself. So this prompt is also coded within Lovable only. For the code within, I guess, please think step by step in order to resolve it, right? And then the error is automatically copied by Lovable. I didn't do any of this. I just clicked that try to fix button over here. And then it did all of this thought step by step. It told me what it's doing. Another error, again, same issue, same process. I added the prompt again. It made some database table, had some error in that. I just had to click button or max to max. It took a while over here. So I asked what's the progress. It was taking too much time for me to give any update.
Yeah.
So it told me, okay, these are the next steps and so on. Now, right now, for example, if you look at the website, right, I click on this is not leading me to any product page. Right? The place bid buy now functionality we haven't yet defined, so that's fine. But I asked it, where did my prompt go? I can't view the detailed product page for any product. What is the issue and how can this be fixed? Simple conversational. Like I would ask someone from the tech team or engineering team at any company that I was working at. It automatically gave me all this and said implement the plan. Right? If I have the time, bandwidth, I'll go through it, understand what exactly is happening, and I'll get better, or I'll go through the learning curve of this tool in itself. But now I'll just say implement the plan. Again, I just had to click one button.
What about integration with like external tools? So if there is any issue over there, then what does it do?
So one is you basically ask it, okay, I want to integrate it with Razorpay, for example. It will automatically prompt you 2 fields to fill, your API and your secret, your API key and your secret. So you paste it over there. It stores in a secret. It defines those secret tables in Supabase itself and stores it over there.
And who teaches it to understand Razorpay and everything around it?
It's already inbuilt. It's like you're asking GPT what is the process to do it. This already knows the process. It's asking GPT for us in some sense. And then it's executing.
Nice.
Yeah. For most popular tools, it will do it very easily, more 9 or 10 times without error, right? But it's a very unique tool whose API has not been used a lot. You might need to kind of do it step by step.
And if you guys see, there's this button over here which you see, discover treasures. This also we haven't linked it to anything yet, but the text on your version will be white. Only if you hover it will you be able to read it. So I went and did edit and selected this specific button and asked for a quick change, saying that the font color of the on this button of the text on this button is the same as the background. Please change it. It changed it on its own, and I haven't published it. Once I publish, you'll be able to see the change. So you can select specific sections, buttons. You want to change this text. You want to change this icon. Right. So if you've used low code tools like Wix, this is like a conversational layer between that and actually doing it possibly. But this is actual code. Okay, so let's try it out. There you go. Okay, I don't know what it did. If I had the bandwidth or time, I would have gone and understood exactly what it did. But right now, all of these products work. Right. So again, what I've positioned this as, that it needs to, it will most likely have a story if you are part of the segment. Right. It created its own story. Again, I asked it to add dummy data and so on. But you can also, I've also added a functionality to actually place a bid instead of just saying that, this is what the price is, you have to pay XYZ. So if you sort of vibe or relate to that story, you want it, right? Or, if you might have a story that is similar, or that person somehow connect with that person, you might want to sell it, buy it, whatever. So the more specific you are with the idea, the better it becomes. Okay, so now I will now do the login and sell flow.
Okay, so while you build it, Mir, can I share the database for my?
Yeah, go for it.
Awesome. So like Mir built the database before building the different features, right? I built it now, right? And similar to Lovable, the prompt was very simple, right? Okay, it's still building, so it's not letting me scroll up. But This was the prompt, add a database, right? Didn't define what tables, what is needed, nothing. And it kind of picked on what all we are showing everywhere, right? And built a database. So yeah, the part I like about Replit is that everything is in the same UI, right? So the database, after I said add a database, this button popped up, right? If you click on it on the left, I can expand and show you how it looks like, right? So it basically shows me the option of the database, and this window opens up, right? And now you can see the tables. It created a listing and users table, right? So, but now those tables that I created in the starting, they come in handy, right? Now I can look at exactly what fields are there in each table, right? I can see how are they defined. So ID is a random generated primary key. Title is text, category is text, price is integer, location is text, and so on, right? I can look at the actual data. I can edit the data itself, right here without even writing a code or giving a prompt at zero cost, right? So I can make this 55 and I can save this change. And it will reflect on the front end as well. This was complete Harry Potter. Let's see Harry Potter. Okay, let's use the filters, books. Yeah, Harry Potter, $55 now, right? So the database starting point is very easy in Replit. You just have to tell it to create a database, and then you can keep adding tables very easily, right? Again, I love to look at this. It gives you details of how much time it took, what actions it took, and what is the cost of doing that. 44 cents, right? And it gives you summary of, okay, I created a database connection with Neon server database. So Neon, like Superbase is the provider for Lovable. Neon is the provider for Replit. Right? Again, just put all this ChatGPT, ask it to help you understand what is this, why is it required. It's a great way to learn. And it added sample data to the database itself, right? Without me even telling it. Great. Now, basically, a problem I saw was when we were clicking on a product, it was not going to the detail page, right? So I told it, create a product page which shows details of the product, gives an option to buy the product, and it should be connected to the listing page, right? Now, even if you didn't mention the last line, right, it might have connected it, right? But because I've seen it fail multiple times on different simple basic things, I want to be as specific as possible, right? And I could have even told it to add a CTA on the listing page and then redirect from that CTA, right? But now since the whole card is clickable, that was not required. And it shows you step by step what it does, right? It added a detailed page showing listing information. You can view the code here. It edited the main app file, right, which decides how the app works, right? Then it itself found an issue in the code, right? So there was an issue in the created at the timestamp might be null, right? So we need to handle that case, right? So again, it fixed that error, right? It made sure it went back and said, I will make sure that the listing clickable so users can navigate to the product details page, right? Added the link. It all checked, okay, the link import is already there, right? And it works, right? Again, a summary of what is there. It's asking you to test it out. So testing this product. Okay, so it's working, right? It's giving me the images, which is not in the right size right now. It added a save and share button itself, right? I didn't ask it in the prompt. So again, if you can be very specific, you can avoid all these extra bloated features which might not be relevant to your use case, right? It gives me the location, time, price, condition like new, right? It also added a seller profile, rating, reviews, right? Description, contact seller button, right? And like more books in downtown, this was a feature I didn't ask for it, but it still created, right? Got it. Now let's see if the pay now is working. No. So it give me error, purchase flow coming soon. Please contact seller to arrange the payment and pickup. Okay. Contact seller, still the same message, feature coming soon. Right. Save and share button on, not working. Awesome. Now let's, Mir, are you done?
You're on mute, Mir.
Thanks. No,
Yeah,
I'm
we can
using
hear.
the cell feature now.
Awesome, cool. So I'll just show you in the meantime how we deploy on Replit, right? And we can always come back and keep editing the product and again redeploy it. So in Replit, you can go to, so yeah, there are multiple tools over here. Like there's a deploy button on the left side, there's deploy over here, or you can just open the deployments window over here, right? So now Replit is customizable, right? Even the deployment type. So there are 4 deployment types that it offers, right? Again, product and tech people will understand this much better for what use case, but from what my limited understanding is, reserved VM is a dedicated server for your use case, right? How it impacts you, it costs more, right? But your app will always be on, right? Static pages are basically if you're not doing any action, not taking any input from the user, you're just putting up a, let's say, front end page over there. Static pages are great, very cheap, obviously because there's not a lot of compute power required. Scheduled is more for cron jobs or scheduled action that you need to take, right? So it runs during that time period that you define, right? Auto scale is what works for 90% of the use cases that we have experienced. It is basically you set a certain level of compute power that you need, and it can scale up or scale down depending on usage, right? So again, very cost efficient. It doesn't break. It scales up and down as per requirement. And you just have to click on set deployment, right? You have an option to edit this, right? So again, this is another feature. Not a feature, but yeah, more of an agent feature that we have. That let's say there was a question on the chat. Okay, I want to have 50,000 active users, right? Daily active users. So let's ask the agent how much compute power do I need for that, right? I am expecting 50K active daily users. What should be my auto scale config for deployment, right? Yes, Replit is customizable. And yeah, I think that's the great part about it. And I'll show you a bit more features if we have some time after this. Why I believe Replit gives you more control over the code, right?
You can't sell your product like this.
I wish it was mine. I wish I was
No
getting paid.
bias.
Awesome.
Good question. Sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, as Mihir was able to interact with the different UI elements in Lovable, is same possible in Replit as well? Because I use V0 and it has similar capabilities to what Mihir was showing.
Yes, you can. You can. I'll just come to that after this, after we deploy it once.
Okay.
Great. So why is it not scrolling up? Yeah. So it says based on documentation, here's what I recommend for your auto scale, right? It's saying 10 to 5 machines. These are the machines, right? Each machine should be 1 CPU and 2 GB, which is much less than this, right? So it's saying so it assumed a lot of things because we didn't specify exactly how many concurrent users we might have. So it's at 10 to 20% concurrent users with typical web traffic patterns. It takes 500 to 1,000 requests per second during peak times. It explains that each machine can handle 100 to 200. So 10 to 15 machines would be good enough, right? So this is what it says, right? So let me edit this accordingly. So it says 1 CPU and 2 gig RAM, right? And I'm not putting maximum machines, but yeah, it goes to 10 max, right? I currently use 3 for a deployed app right now with 100 to 200 active daily users. It has never crossed even 2 machines ever, right? So you can customize this, right? Or you can go with the default one. It's completely up to you. This is my compute units that are required. It told me what to do. I have followed the steps and I am deploying now, right? So here you can change the name, right? It gave me local exchange. I'll just keep it this. The name is available, right? And you can deploy it. Now, Replit also has custom domains, but first you have to deploy on the Replit domain first, and then you can add your own domain after the first deployment, right?
So all these virtual machines that it asks for, so can you use like AWS, Azure, or whatever as well?
No, if you're deploying on Replit, you can't.
So like, do they have their own like machines?
Yeah, they have their own machines. I'm sure it's with a partnership with some provider, but I'm not sure which one.
Okay.
But if you want to host it on AWS, the GitHub will help you do that. I don't think you can do it directly via Replit. There's no integration from Replit to AWS.
Syed, you picked up the auto scale for deployment.
Sorry?
What did you pick for deployment? Like
Auto scale.
And it's free for you right now, or you've paid for it?
No, this is a paid plan. So in Replit, the deployment happens on the paid plan only.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So I'll quickly deploy and show you how you can access the code. So these are, again, deployment secrets. You can read about this. Tech people will know, but I just click on deploy. And basically gives you step-by-step what it is doing, right? Great. While it deploys, I'll show you. So in Replit, here when it deploys, it will show you the domain over here. You can copy and paste with anyone. You can add your own domain, right? Or you can buy a domain directly on Replit, right? So we have all those features. You can always go back and change your deployment type, shut it down completely, right? Or there's an option to pause it also. Once you've deployed, you'll see, right? And again, you can always change the deployment structure that you decided in the beginning, upgraded as per usage increases, right? So custom domains, deployment pause. Yeah, so pause button is here since it's deployed now, right? You can change deployment type. There are some basic analytics, right? How many requests, what URLs, right? Devices, browsers, countries. Logs is a very important thing once you deploy, right? Just to keep a track of what is happening, what is not happening. You can filter by errors, right? If there are any, and by date as well. Great. So it deployed, it gave me a URL. I can add a domain. And if I just click on it, it will open my app on the browser. So this is now live. I'll share the link also on the chat. You can use it, test it, find bugs, and do anything. Awesome. I think there is a very good question on the code extraction part, right? So Replit has something called Git, right? It basically maintains all the versions that you have, right? You can click on a version and go back to that point anytime. Let's say I don't want to continue with the 2 features I built, or the database and the detailed information in purchasing. I can go back to the first prompt just by clicking on it, right? To push it to GitHub, you go to settings, right? So right now my GitHub is logged in, but if not, you'll get a login to GitHub button, and you can just you don't have to enter the repository name, just say create repository, Okay, is it not working? Okay, I have to create the repository name. Okay, let's say local exchange.
Chalo, we're out of time.
Yeah. एक्स्ट्रा फीचर है भाई, रिप्लेट का दिखाऊंगा.
मेरा तो सेल वाला साइट भी बन गया.
Yeah. So now this is done. This is on GitHub, right? This is your link to the GitHub repository. You can copy paste and see it on GitHub, right? And Replit does push it automatically, right? So it's asking me permission. I confirm. And if I click push origin as main, these are basically some technical terms that you have to understand from a GitHub point of view. But when it shows this screen, now this is on GitHub, the whole code. You can copy it, move it to another tool, move it to Claude, Cursor, even Lovable. You can transfer to Lovable as well, right? So all that is possible. Awesome. Great. So here I am also done. I couldn't get time to make the payment flow.
That's not my problem.
Fine. Cool. over to you. Show what you did on the payment side.
No, not the payment side. So I published it, by the way, so you guys can check out. And can someone just try signing in or creating an account and checking? I will show it in a new tab.
It's not loading only for me, the website. It just did.
I've just published it, so it might take maybe a few seconds to refresh. So I've created one dummy account. Share this tab. Yes. Okay, so I'll share the prompt with you guys, but and you'll be able to see how much of the prompt got translated into this product, right? And what aspects it picked, what aspects it picked correctly, what aspects it imagined or assumed basis some unknown, and so on. But it has your basic 3 categories listed, couple of products, dummy products in each category. I can view the product itself, price. There's an option to place bid. So there was some which had a bid option, some which had a normal amount of price mentioned. So if I try and place bid, this flow is not done. I will try logging in now.
It's giving an error to sign while signing up. The sub-based verification link is failing.
Acha, okay, cool. So I need to fix that part at least. But I've created a dummy account. I think the authentication and verification is not built only.
Fair.
Like email verification or some OTP kind of a thing. So I've manually added, by the way, in Superbase. So this is my Superbase dashboard. I manually added one user.
Okay.
And I've logged in, and this is my dashboard. Right? So my store, what are the items I've actually put up to sell. This is my sold history, items have actually been sold, and this is my order history page. Right? Let me see if I can put in some dummy data and show it over here. Or let's just do this. Let's do an add item. So I'm adding an item name. It gives an example. So this also it picked up on its own. I select a category. See this category now, it has given extra list of categories. So I select furniture and let's say beds, right? I say, okay, vintage bed, condition, fair, poor, good. I can change again what needs to go in over here. Do I want to auction it or fixed price? So I'll put starting bid as 5. Strongest memory, I'll just put something for now. Test. Bed, no. Squeaks a lot. Bought it, I don't know, 2020. Length, oh my God, I don't know. What lengths are beds typically? And okay, if I want to upload a photo, I go to add my store. Relation to value, product category check. Okay, so now I just have to basically copy this and paste it in my this thing to fix it and figure out where it is. But it broke at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the reality across all tools, right? See, it will build things, but testing and making sure every flow is working, everything is in place is still on us, right?
Yes.
You
So
still
the
have
thinking
to.
part you still have to do. It is only going to do the execution, right? So you have to give it good inputs. Again, prompting as much level of detail as you can. Uh, but again, you have to prompt it like you would, let's say, prompt an engineer in your tech team or some dev in terms of the type of prompt you have to give, and that's sufficient.
Yeah.
Cool. Your turn.
Yeah, I think let's move to the polling. We are
Yes.
over time. So I think we can't build any more features. But yeah, I think still not bad for 40, 45 minutes of vibe coding.
Yeah.
Cool.
This is, and this also, by the way, is after we've
Thanks,
sort of
Ramesh.
spent
Thank you.
months and months to figure out
So
what works, what doesn't work.
yeah. So yeah, the goal was basically to show you how things break. The biggest part of vibe coding is not perfect, whatever the hype might be. So there's still a lot of work to be done, even if the AI tool is coding for us. Kshitij, you want to say something?
Sorry, I pressed it by mistake. But then yeah, I have a question which I entered. Can you ask it like to code it in a specific language?
Right. So in Replit, you can do that, right? It has certain languages that it can code in. So Node.js is there, Python is there, all your typical languages are there. But yeah, it's not infinite, right? So
Got it.
we usually non-tech people usually just tell it build it in whatever works, right? So we're not specific about it, but yes.
The last question will decide who wins. So very interesting.
The database part is really easy for Replit as compared to Lovable.
Yeah.
The rest, I think Lovable is simpler.
So that's an advantage also. But yeah, I think technical, like the question, right? Can I use a different database and different hosting? So a bit restrictive for people who want to do things themselves, right? So that's why it's
They
really
also know how to build all this otherwise from this. Like they don't need this.
that's true.
One more tool you have to learn then.
Yeah.
Like they didn't need these tools. We needed them.
Correct.
Yeah.
Cool. So Replit is winning in the first one. Which tools UI did you find better? So Replit has 10, Lovable has 6. Okay. Which tool did you find easy to use or understand? 11 for Lovable, 4 for Replit. Okay. Then oh, this is not showing for everyone. Then which tool gives you more confidence to start and build? Replit is 8 and Lovable is 5. And for its features, which tool was better from a pricing perspective? Replit is 3, Lovable is 7. And oh my god, overall Replit got 6 votes and Lovable got 5 votes.
Hey, what a close tie.
I know there are more people on the call. Not everybody is voted. There is still time. You can still.
You're not giving points only for DCP. Why are people voting?
Yo. One more vote for Replit. Shit. Okay, let's stop the vote.
Oh yeah, cool. I think people are dropping off. We need to cover one more part.
Yeah.
I'll just quickly share.
We'll publish the votes also, but.
Yes. Awesome, guys. Quickly, I think I wanted to share this before we move to the workshops. What is the benefit of these tools, right? This is purely from a non-tech user point of view, right? So tech people, please don't kill me. Before we start, I'll just quickly say Cursor and Claude are very powerful, right? For coders, right? For non-tech people like us, Bolt, Vercel, Replit, Data Button, and Lovable are great. From our overall point of view, Replit, Lovable, and Data Button are top 3. Data Button, only problem is there's no free plan, right? So you can't experiment and play around before deciding whether you want to use it or not, right? That's why we haven't also been able to cover it yet. But yes, please take a note between these 3 or 4 tools. You can try it out. If you can, try out Cursor and Claude also. Very powerful, but yes, the learning curve is much longer and steep, right? Okay, so I think we covered pricing. Both start at the same $25 per month. The difference is Lovable charges by message, right? And what is the cost of each message? We don't know, right? Were you able to find that out in the paid plan?
No, it just shows me how many tokens are left, right? So
Not
let
per
me do-
message, right?
no.
Yeah.
So
So
I have
Replit is very transparent. Sorry, go ahead.
No, so I used for this session, I used about 25, I think, credits. Okay, for everything that I've done so far. Out of 100.
Got it.
So every month you get 100 and 5 per day. So I've used 25 roughly credits, whatever that means.
Interesting. Yeah, so Replit is very transparent in that factor. You can look at exactly what each message is costing you, right? Every task is costing you, and it says it does by the effort that is involved in it. I think we didn't cover one part, which is the assistant. So Replit has two agents, right? The agent and assistant, right? Assistant is more for very specific tasks, and it is super cheap. It is 5 cents only, right? So yeah, we cover that in detail in the workshops that we do. Database we saw, Lovable has Superbase, very simple integration, maybe I think 2 or 3 clicks maximum, and accessible on the free plan as well. That's a big advantage. Replit has built-in, you can edit everything inside, but it requires the paid plan. Deployment, both allow you to deploy a website with branded and unbranded URLs, but Lovable allows it in the free plan as well. But again, Replit, only the paid plan.
Yes.
Lovable has single agent, you tell it everything, it does it. Replit has 2 agents, right? And within the agent also, there are multiple roles it can take, right? So we didn't cover that, we cover that in the bigger workshop. What is the underlying LLM? Both use ChatGPT and Claude, right? Lovable has 3 by default, GPT 4.0, 4.0 mini, and Claude 4. Replit gives an option between Claude 4 and GPT 4.0, right? But also I recently discovered this. It also has an extended thinking that it takes longer time to assess options. And it also has access to Claude Opus 4, right? Which is a much more powerful Claude LLM, right? So again, both have pros and cons, right? Choose what works for you. Quickly coming to workshops, we are doing two workshops which are focused on building a product like we built today, but we will build it alongside with you. We will share all prompts. You can build your own prompts, discuss each bug that you're facing, right? And we'll try to solve them live with you. This will be a 2-hour workshop, right? I think I entered the timing wrong over here. So
yes,
the first cohort is happening this Saturday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's almost half is full, right? So if you want to sign up, please sign up very quickly. The next one is happening on the next Saturday, right? Again, we have limited slots, so 9th of August.
Is there a possibility of changing the date of 9th August?
Not really.
Okay.
What date were you thinking?
It's a festival day. It might be tough to join, so thinking Sunday instead.
actually Sunday we can try and do, because the next weekend again was 15th
weekend.
August.
Long weekend,
So
No,
that's
fair.
why we kept. But we can
Okay.
do Sunday. I mean, let's see what the other people who signed up for it say, and we'll work around it.
Where is the sign up flow?
Yes, we will share that with you.
Okay.
I think by 8:30 you'll get an email with the links to it.
Super. Thanks.
Correct. And yeah, there is a chance to get a discount on this also. If you can just post about this session, any feedback, good or bad, on LinkedIn. Tag us, both me and Mihir.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, you can tag anyone and we'll make sure you get a 20% off. Right. I'm adding the LinkedIn profiles on the chat as well. And yeah, that's a very simple offer. Just share about the workshop and you get the 20% off on any of the workshop. This Saturday, next Saturday, anyone you want to join, you can use it on any one workshop you want.
Yeah. And in that workshop, basically, we explain to you why we started building the way we started building, right? Adil took a separate approach. I took a separate approach where I built a landing page first and the backend database first, right? And we've arrived at some sweet spot based on all of the mistakes that we've done. right? And that is basically what we teach you in that workshop and take you through that learning curve, which will took us say a few months to through trial error to figure out. Right?
Yeah.
So 80% of what you will learn is what we'll cover, remaining 20% anyways, depending on your use case, you will have to still debug, but at least you'll know how to figure out the solution to it.
Hi, Mia, this is Sudeep. One question is, in this workshop, are we going to build our own stuff or one common application for the entire group in each session?
One common application, right? That's how
Okay.
we'll be able to cover it in 2 hours.
Got it.
We will go through the logic and we will have you do some exercises to get to that point. It might also so happen that although the concept is the same, right? So we started off with the same idea, both Adil and I, but our outcome was very different. So there you can add whatever elements of yours you want. It's just that the problem statement will be common for everyone.
Got it. Thanks.
No problem.
Do you guys use this professionally for like a project that you guys have been working on?
Yes.
Sorry,
Yes.
sorry, I didn't get that. Sorry.
Have you guys used this one of Replit or Lovable yourselves professionally for like a project that you've been working on? And if so, like how did you go about well after you got the first I would say setup from Lovable or Replit, how did you go about actually publishing it? And maybe if you could share that with us.
Yeah. So the publishing was very straightforward, like we showed in the demo right now, right? But there are a lot of steps involved, even like after publishing or even before maintaining the app, right? I would say for non-tech people, the testing part is the pain point, right? Right now, it's a very painful process for us because we're not used to testing each and every feature and then trying to debug what could have gone wrong, right? So I would say the debugging part and making sure things are working right in production, right, is the tough part. The steps to do that, the steps to deploy something is exactly what we showed, right? There's nothing complex about it. The debugging part and understanding how to debug using natural language is the tough part, right? That is what we cover in the workshops.
And Adil is already, so he's using a tool called RXN that he's built for ISB alumni. And I think he has what, 500 visitors per week? Is that the number? Which is live. People are using it. People are interacting with it. And it's a tool that people are, about 500 people a week are using regularly, actively. So we have used it to actually publish and use it, these tools.
Yeah.
So that one was built using Replit or Lovable?
Replit.
Oh, okay. Could you maybe like share the link to that like website and then we'll go through that?
So unfortunately, it's a community only product,
Okay.
only for ISB. But yeah, you can check the landing page and everything.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. I think we can close it off then.
Awesome. Great.
And you will have received an email maybe in a minute or so, which details all the workshop. And you can also schedule a call with me, right? I have given my Calendly link over there, my Google Calendar link. So please feel free to schedule a call with me just for any help, guidance, whatever you want. Like it's a 30-minute free call, no worries. Right? Happy to connect with you guys and know what you guys are building also. Yes, and please do share with other people so we can have more such people attending.
Thank you. Thank you, Arti.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kamlesh.
All right. Cool. Signing off then, guys. Bye-bye.